Hi, stream. I wasn't going to talk, but you know what? Decided I'm going to talk. Might as well. It's going to be hella boring if I don't. Just waiting on the bots to say they're ready. Apparently they have someone else coming. So, I mean, I guess it's better, but I mean, I think they might be over the time, to be honest. Map 1's going to be going to Aogiri for the late start of the match. Gotta fix the settings. Ike. Ike and Valda's the next map. Gotta ask, make sure both teams are ready. Starting up the match. Yay, content. No more sitting here looking at nothing. Honestly, I think it's going to be an interesting match, especially with that little mix-up in the beginning. I wonder if the bots are going to actually be able to come back for that, especially for like having the mindset of forfeiting. Honestly, I don't know. And Aogiri is probably a little bit triggered, especially since they waited 30 minutes for a game. Oh, bots are going to be going goats. Moira goats to be exact. So it looks like they're going for a very brawl-oriented comp. They're going to be going straight into him. That's what they should do at least. Yeah, and then Aogiri's holding the McCree up top high ground. Probably going to be stunning the Reinhardt to get as most damage as they can. Zen goats actually. Which is a pretty solid strat, to be honest. It's really whoever can get the first pick in this fight. Huge, that's a big pick. But all of bots is pretty low. Oh, with High Noon already coming from Aogiri, that's huge. But getting eaten. Mercy getting that res off, that's actually pretty huge. If the Zarya can do anything. It's still Zarya. It's pretty tied on both sides. Honestly, I think bots is gonna get this. Oh, with beat coming from Aogiri, kind of gets no one. Probably used just for mostly stall. But yeah, it was kind of a waste. That was a huge push from bots. Aogiri switching to Pharah to help with the goats is going to be a huge pick. Kaz's bot's having 3 ults. 4 ults actually. Almost on a Brigitte ult as well. Both teams are pretty balanced in ultimates. That's the second High Noon in like literally 3 minutes. Dude's crazy. Yeah, Mercy is very uncontested. She has not been... Basically, she's gotten every res she's tried off. I mean, Kaza's getting the picks. Or the bots is getting the picks. Their name change is a little confusing. I honestly think Aogiri wouldn't have lost that if they were more together. They kind of went in very kind of spread. Especially with like Mercy with the Pharah. So they had kind of just a Lucio as healing to like backline heal kind of. But really he's very... Mobile's a very front hand support player. So they kind of just left like a lot of their tanks were kind of alone. They wouldn't have lost that fight if they were together. That's for sure. Another High Noon. This dude's crazy. That's 3 in a matter of like 4 or 5 minutes. Jesus. Good trance. Keeps their tanks up. Their Zarya is kind of ridiculous. Jesus. Kaza's getting both points kind of quickly. Let's see if they can keep this momentum. Honestly, Aogiri just needs to kind of just shut them down once, and I feel like this comp would kind of maybe crumble. But with Kaza's getting those consistent picks, especially on the Pharah, maybe on a support, it's kind of helping them out a lot. Oh, that was... that boo was... That... Nice. Huge shatter on Kaza's. Yeah, I believe Kaza's got this. As I was saying, yeah, I believe Aogiri played more in the beginning as like more of a unit as a team. They would have not lost because they were very separated. That's why like when Kazas went on to the point, they didn't get enough picks to keep the Kazas off, which they just kept coming back from spawn. But honestly, they could push them back, Aogiri. Especially with that ultimate and Trans still up. Didn't get no value. The picks are on Aogiri, this one. Honestly though, with 3 minutes left, Kaz is going in with one more strong push. They could definitely take that. Oh, but they're very staggered now, especially with those 2 support picks. If anything, their Ryan needs to back up. Three ultimates on Aogiri. 3 ultimates on Kaz bots as well. Shatter on the Reaper. Oh, and they grab. Huge grab. Those mines were, I guess, a good sectioning ult. Keep them off the point. And that was not a good grab. Kind of a flop. Huge shatter. Oh. Yeah, this is kind of just a stall for time right here from Aogiri. Trying to get it down as low as they can. That was a solid push by Kazas. Zen Goats is a very strong comp, especially if the team is very separated, how Aogiri was kind of playing in the beginning. Like, they just had to capitalize really on getting that one pick to start the fight, and honestly, they can just roll. It's gonna be interesting to see what Kaz's or the bots runs on defense, though. Because, I mean, this map is very Goats oriented for attack, but I mean, you can't really Goats defense. I mean, you can, but usually attack normally has more DPS, so Goats is kind of like very hard to defend with. Unless you're running like Moira Goats to keep up your team. Because Zen Goats probably won't be enough. But honestly, it looks like they're doing the same thing. They might prove me wrong, to be honest. It just depends on if Aogiri can capitalize on that first initial pick. Because if they get a pick on their Reinhardt, bots is kind of screwed. Because that's like huge pick going into Goats. Main tank's dead. Aogiri is going to be running an Ashe. I mean, I guess that would help with mostly like the pick damage. If she picks off a support, that would be huge as well. Basically, any pick from Aogiri, they need to capitalize on it right away in order to win this point as quickly as possible. Kazas is playing pretty defensive as well, staying behind the corner. They're pretty smart too, because their comp consists of a lot of brawl, so they have to bring them to them. Huge pick by Gaza. And Red Hawk. Nice. Nice. Kazas didn't lose one. Good job. They did. That was pretty good. Huge push. That initial pick on the Zenyatta, or not the Zenyatta, the Lucio by Kaza, kind of like pushed them to kill the rest, because also they were down with support, and they're running Mercy Lucio. Mercy can only do so much healing. Aogiri is playing more together than they were the first round. Getting that res up on M3 was kind of a good decision, especially since now they're getting picks on their tanks. Honestly, their DPS just needs to get that initial pick from Aogiri. They get that pick, they can kind of just roll in. Oh, huge shatter by Ollie. And the mines. Bob was put on point. Mercy's rezzing. Res on the Reinhardt honestly wasn't needed, to be honest. He's just gonna die right away. Unless he can get out. If he gets out, then that was a good res. Yeah, that was kind of a waste. That's a huge stagger. I can tell that she's really trying, but I think it's just very... Their team is kind of playing split like they were in the beginning. Very, like, not with their tanks. Like, one tank kind of is, like, splitting off with each other. And, I mean, with Pharah on this map, I mean, Mercy should try maybe staying with her Pharah more, damage boosting her, to try to get that initial pick, as I was saying before. That initial pick is huge, especially in a GOATS comp. Oh, and there's Shatter right into the shield. Barrage comes out, gets one pick. That's a huge pick, but they're still have no, kind of no follow-up because they're all died. All of Aogiri died. They gotta pick. Aogiri gotta pick on their Reinhardt, which is actually a huge pick, especially in Ghost comp. Main tank is probably one of the most important. I mean, they're keeping up with the bots. They have a lot of stall supports and tanks as well, because I mean the Hammond and like the Lucio can kind of keep the point. Yeah, and they're getting the picks. Oh, that was a waste of a grab, but I mean, honestly, as long as they just keep them off the point, yeah, bots is gonna win this. GG. Yeah, honestly, I just think that Aogiri would have had more of a chance, honestly, if they were playing way more like together, especially against a GOATS comp. You can't really have very like, not say like aggressive, but very like split tanks, because once one of them are dead, honestly, the GOATS can just roll through. I mean, they can roll through either way, but I'm just saying that, like, trying to keep together and also maybe having more support. Mercy Lucio can work, but honestly, I would say maybe like a Moira for like more sustainability, trying to keep up the rest of their team. Honestly, though, bots was playing very well that round. Well, I mean for GOATS, but that's what the meta is now, especially. And then Aogiri is subbing in Goku for M3. Just to make sure his SR is similar or even lower. Yeah, we're good. Li Zhang's the next map. Honestly, though, I feel like maybe switching out M3 might have been a little bit of a mistake, honestly, for the Pharah especially. Pharah is very strong on this map, especially against if they're going to be running GOATS. Bots is going to be running GOATS this entire time. Pharah is a very must-needed pick to kind of shut that down. Let's make sure both sides are ready. Make sure bots is ready, because Aogiri is ready. Alright, both teams are ready. Starting it up.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower. Initiating match.
I'm kind of excited to see if bots is going to be running goats, or if they're going to be running a normal 2-2-2 comp, or exactly what they're going to be running, because I mean, they won the first round with goats. To be honest, if they play more goats, especially on this map especially, it works very well, unless the other team has a lot of like DPS. Yeah, I'm seeing a very similar comp from last round. They're still running the same Zenyatta goats. Oh, both teams are going to be running goats, but Aogiri is going to be running goats with a Mercy. Honestly, it could work. As long as they're playing very defensive, from Aogiri's point of view, they need to be playing very defensive, because Mercy is normally not used in goats. And that's mostly because of how much healing she actually outputs. So when the boss is playing very aggressive, and especially if they get a pick first on Mercy like that, it's not really going to work. Yeah, bots has a very strong goats comp, and that's been apparent. Just those discords. If you discord the Ryan and kill him right away. But that first pick was on Mercy, especially though too, because oh, they're running Zenyatta goats now. Okay, now they're coming back with their own goats, Zenyatta goats themselves. Let's see how this works. Each team is similar, but instead of a Hammond on Aogiri's side, they have a Diva. Ollie Best blocked Shatter from... No. Butter has blocked Shatter from Ollie. That's a huge sectioning ult, especially for their supports that are behind. While their Ryan is kind of in just by himself. Those are huge 2 picks. Yeah, they're going to be staggering the Diva. With another block Shatter by Butters. Grab comes out from Aogiri. That's a huge trans, saving their tank's health. Huge Shatter, especially on that Zarya. If they kill that, yep, nice, huge. Yeah, now's their time to capitalize. They only supports 1 point. They could definitely cap this. Yeah, now once they like kind of have like their bearings kind of on, especially with this comp, they're probably going to be doing a lot better. And now that they're kind of trying to play more together, Another. Oh, no, actually, a huge shatter too, but no capitalization. There is mines in the back. And they are getting picks. Okay. Bots is coming in. Even though they have lost their main tank, they're still getting picks. Huge. Block shatter by Ollie. Nice. Kept them off. Both teams are playing really well. I just think, kind of as like what I was saying before as well, is that Aogiri is kind of like not really playing fully together, or when they do play together, the bots kind of capitalizes on just ults in general, so they kind of either shatter or grab, which is kind of picking off either their supports or their tanks in the fight, and then they have no like nothing to stabilize themselves. It's very like one-sided. Like there's either all supports alive or all tanks alive, which I mean kind of like isn't gonna work at all, especially in like this kind of comp, since they're both running very similar comps. This might be Kaz's week, to be honest. This map lineup is very kind of goats. It works really well with goats. So if they like practice their Zen goats and kind of just like capitalize on those kills that they're getting, they're going to win. And it's being very apparent that they're winning. Honestly, that D.Va should try and get out, or at least jump off the map. And Lucio probably should not be contesting this, especially. That's just going to be a huge stagger on their side. Those are huge mines. Oh, huge shatter. Those are some huge picks. Goku popping off. Honestly, I feel like there wasn't really a need for that bomb. But I mean, gotta capitalize on the picks, I guess. Yeah, Goku is hella popping off. That was a nice push. Huge push by Aogiri. Kaz's bots needs to kind of group up more. Being that split, it's not good for their comp, especially if one of them get picked off. They're grouping up now. That's a huge grab. Huge trans as well. Honestly, both teams are using their ultimates really well. Trans comes out from Aogiri, just probably to keep up the peck damage. Shatter comes from both sides. There's just a lot happening right now. A lot of ults are being used. Kaz's bots are up, especially now. Huge. Honestly, both Zaryas on both teams are kind of like amazingly good. They're both getting off huge grabs, keeping up their charge. Both sides are keeping charge high. Oh, that was almost a boot by Red Hawk. Both Lucios are kind of looking for a boop. That grab is pretty huge. Honestly, if they capitalize on as much as they can. Oh, huge bomb. Keeps them from capitalizing on that shatter. That was actually pretty huge. This is a very ult hungry game. Both teams are kind of using their ults to their advantage. Some are kind of just wasted, but others are being used well. The picks are still on bot's side though. Bots wins another one. Make sure the next map is next map. Goku for king. Honestly, if bots wins this map, it's 3-1 to them. It's Junkertown, I believe. Butters for Trace. Honestly, I feel like Trace is going to be a kind of a huge help, especially on this map. Yeah, now that right that they're kind of arguing both sides. But yeah, Aogiri did make a decision to just to play second map, so that's kind of their loss. Yep, we're going in. Junkertown it is. This map is going to be very interesting. Payload maps, honestly, I don't believe goats. I believe goats can work to an extent, but I honestly don't know how well it's going to work on this map, especially with all the vantage points for like maybe let's say like a Widowmaker or like more like their strong like backline DPS that could kind of like just do nitpicking on like the supports like that when the shield is down. Honestly, could like screw over any type of like goats comp.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Getting that bastion off the payload is huge. I had my mic muted. Oops. Oh. Kaz's is coming out with a different lineup. They have DPS, some tank mains on DPS, which is very interesting to me. Honestly, that's working. They're still winning. They're getting some huge picks as well. Like those picks. Elo kind of popping off. I don't know if you say it as Elo or Elo or... All I know is they're kind of popping off.
Only place for Omnics and Junkertown is on the scrappy. Consider yourself warned.
I think both main supports on Aogiri is a smart move, but honestly, it doesn't seem like they're really using it to their advantage. Especially like with both main supports, you definitely can be pushing in a lot more than they were. Kind of, even though they did win that fight, they used 2-3 ultimates, just two ultimates, Sombra and Reinhardt. When honestly, if they were just pushing in with just Reinhardt, kind of pressuring their Reinhardt or their Orisa, honestly, it would have probably wouldn't have needed to use either of those ults. It's just they're playing very kind of like spread apart. As you can see, like their DPS aren't with their tanks, which I mean isn't normally what's supposed to happen. But when you're playing against like kind of like a bunker comp, like how is going against Kazis right now, it's very, you need to be very, as I've been saying this entire game is you need to be kind of together, especially with the supports. Since they have both main supports, they definitely should have been pushing more. And that's a huge stagger on the Mercy and the Moira. Sombra's still behind, but she can't contest. Aogiri has a Widow of their own now, probably to try to take care of both snipers. Yeah, with Ryan's shield down like that. Huge pull. Oh, nice pick by the Widow. Both Widows get a pretty huge pick, to be honest. That ultimate was not needed, especially since they're using more of a DPS ultimate. And they're only focusing a D.Va Mac. Both Widows popped Visor at the same time. Bombs coming out. Your boy getting those picks on those Widows, those initial sniper picks, is kind of huge for Aogiri because it's helping them play more aggressive, especially with like their supports and their tanks. Because with double sniper, it's very hard for the supports to push up with their tanks, or they have to be with their tanks 24/7, or they're going to be picked. So honestly, switching to Widow on Aogiri's side was very smart. Just keeping those initial like picks on the Widow and on the Ashe is definitely helping them win some of these fights. Yeah, Reinhardt was kind of pushed up really far. Like by himself, really. Honestly, if he probably would have called out. Yeah, and now once the Widow is picked on Aogiri's side, it's kind of hard. As I was saying, they can't really like push themselves out as they normally are because they're just going to be picked by their Ashe. That was a huge push. That was a very strong attack by Kazas, especially with a different kind of looking comp.
Initiating match. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
This will
Hold up.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Honestly, it's been a pretty strong round, to be honest, but having a lever like that, that's gotta hurt. They asked to keep on playing. Tyre comes out. Gets destroyed by Widow. That's huge. Oh, nice pick on the Widow by Elo.
Bob, do something! Helden sterben nicht. Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
They almost just had, I don't know if that was their teammate or a sub or something, but he can't be ends, especially since they keep going on a 5v6.
Огонь по готовности.
That's a huge grab. Huge beat from both sides. Well, huge beat from bots. Kaz's was more of like an initiating beat. Still with Aogiri getting the initial picks and those crazy ultimates. Yeah, there's no way they can stop that. That was a very strong attack by Aogiri.
Score 3-3. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle.
Yeah, honestly, that res was kind of not needed.
30 seconds.
Huge. Ella was popping off, to be honest. Jesus. Mobile's on the point contesting. Oh, they C9'd. Jesus, that's gotta be... That's gotta be... Oof, that's sour. You know, that's sour. That's sour feeling. To be literally having so much room to push the payload and just walking off of it. Damn. I still can't believe they C9'd. That feeling, I don't know how they are feeling right now, but honestly, I would be livid. I would have stayed in the point, but you know.
30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers
Oh.
incoming. Stop the payload.
Can't be having people joining them this late into the game. That's a huge pick by Trace. It's gonna give them a lot of room to move, especially since now they're missing a support. And there goes the Mercy res.
Hanging there.
Its destination.
That's the first official win by Aogiri tonight. Huge.
Play of the game.
Yeah, no, this was huge. This is definitely when they pushed in. Honestly, it's sad to see because they were pushing. Bots had a strong push in the beginning, and they were holding their own on defense as well until they had that lever. Honestly, it's 2-2 right now. But I don't know if they're going to keep it going or... And I think this... Yeah, they have someone else in now, so it's not going to be a 5v6. That's good. And the next map is... Next map is going to be Busan for a tiebreaker. Need to make sure. I'm going to go back into the announcements to make sure that it is Busan. Yeah, tiebreaker is Busan. This is a tiebreaker right here. Whoever wins this wins. Making sure both teams are ready.
Now traveling to Busan. Initiating match. Ready for battle.
Honestly, this is a goats heavy. This is definitely a goats heavy map. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be Kaz's or bots is going to be coming in with their goats, and it seems like they are, but they're doing Moira goats, while Aogiri is doing a 2-2-2.
5, 4,
But honestly, the Sombra could definitely screw over their Kaz's bots goats because I don't think they tried running that against it before. It's gonna be a very interesting round, definitely. This is for basically all the marbles. Whoever wins this is the winner. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of bots, to be honest. Coming in with kind of like their record, it's kind of surprising to see how well they're playing. It just shows. Both teams not getting any picks. Kind of both. Oh, no, there goes the pick on. Oh, they're both tied. They're still pretty balanced, but it's leaning more towards... It's very balanced. Now it's leaning more towards Aogiri. Yep, Aogiri won this fight. Huge. Oh! That's a pick on... Oh, actually, bots might be able to make it back in time. Nope, they get a... Yeah, honestly, try to back up as fast as possible for the bots. Just try to maybe regroup, recuperate each other, heal up. Push was definitely strong on both sides. Supporters doing their job on both sides as well, but no one died in the beginning. Oh, that's a huge... That is literally a huge EMP. And the hack on Red Hawk, yeah, that's ridiculously huge. Oh wow, that was amazing. That huge eat by Red Hawk. Ridiculously. Lucio's on the drum, where all Lucios go to hide. Kaz is getting that point. Yeah, getting the fair on Aogiri's side is definitely smart. But, I mean, they're not really using it to the full advantage, it seems. Especially since, like, they got a pick, but no one kind of capitalized on it. That's a huge pick on the Pharah. Yeah, D.Va's out of mech. Huge grab. And DMP. Oh, there are just a lot of ults coming out. Aogiri, I think, just wasted almost every... No, actually, they used 3 ults for that fight. 4 ults. But I mean, they still have a support ult and barrage. Honestly, I feel like they can hold with Mercy Valk. But bots has D.Va Bomb, which probably could pressure enough for the Reinhardt to shield the bomb while they kind of just push in straight on it. That's what they should do at least. Oh, that's a huge pick on the Mercy. And the pick on the Pharah. They might not have their Rhine, but honestly, they could probably win this. If their Zarya stays alive, they could definitely win this. Bots at least. Sarma getting out with almost 1 health. Jesus. Huge. That was a huge shatter. Your boy getting those picks on Tracer, it's kind of helping them a lot, especially... Yeah, Aogiri seems to be taking this fight. The picks are on their side, that's for sure. Your boy coming in and getting literally 4 or 5 picks right there definitely saved them that point.
Score 1-0. Ready for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Reinhardt gets booped and hacked down. Yeah, seems to be leaning more towards the bots. There's Zarya, the Elo person, is definitely a really strong contender. Like a lot of the fights that are being won are definitely because of the picks that that person's getting. And kind of just like how well bots is kind of just playing together. That was huge. Huge shatter and charge by King.
Огонь по готовности! Kill the Mahal!
Huge bomb by Never. That boot by Ollie was huge as well, though. I mean, they're kind of holding their own. Res on the Mercy, Res on the Reinhardt, that's actually huge. Oh, but that shatter. There's just a lot of ults happening. Oh, bomb being dropped right in the middle. Getting that pick on mobile, definitely. Oh, if D.Va would have gotten to the mech, that would have been huge. That res was wasted, definitely. She should have just died. Honestly, I feel like if Aogiri makes one more good push, kind of team wipes, and then just holds their own, kind of keeping pressure on the bots, they can definitely win this. Especially with picks like that. No team is definitely not being rolled. This is it's a very close game, especially this one. That was a huge combo. They timed that pretty perfectly, to be honest. Oh. Yep. And it looks like Aogiri is the winner. Good job. Coming back from that. Pretty strong.
Play of the game.
Honestly, from what I was saying, definitely the MVP from bot sides is definitely going to be Elo Esca, whatever his or her name is, because coming in to the game kind of like just like rushed kind of, and still kind of carrying. Honestly, a lot of those fights were won because of that person's picks. Like, their Zarya was very strong. And then on Aogiri's side, I honestly trying to think of who was kind of like showing a lot of like potential like game-winning moments in that game. Definitely was probably the ya boy. He definitely had a lot of picks that were kind of like basically helping fight back all those picks that Elo was getting. So definitely I kind of think the MVPs are Elo Esca and ya boy. That's what I'm gonna say. MVPs, MVPs, MVPs. Alright then. Huge games, huge plays. The word huge has been used a lot. Yeah, pretty fun. Kind of amazing. Teams did great, both sides. Thank y'all.